Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more than the meta. So guys, I want to go ahead and give you a preview of my most recent ebook that I've put together. It's out of the Green Bay Packers. This is a West Coast offense, and basically it's going to feature about 5 or 6 different formations that I leverage in this particular scheme, and it's got some red zone schemes that I'll show you. I'm going to show you a couple gameplays against really good opponents, people that win over 70% of their games. So the 7 out of 10 games are going to be winning. So these people know how to play the game of Madden. But it's surprising that a lot of people that are good at Madden and win a lot of, a majority of their games are bad on defense. And one of the reasons I know they're bad on defense is because the way I run my offense, I run it in a way that I can read the defense ahead of time, leveraging run plays. In particular, run plays that have the wide receivers actually shooting up in kind of routes, inside zones, halfback draws, outside zones, any kind of play that's got those lines like this. These lines right here actually give me an easier way to tell the defense and give me an idea what type of a defense I'm running against. So let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay right here, and I'll try to stop it against it. I'm running against 2 guys that play the Eagles, so I get rage quits from both of these guys. One of the things I do want to let you know is that a lot of times when I'm establishing my game against my opponent, I'm always going to go ahead and jump into a run play just to see what it is. But if you take a look at these guys are actually lined up straight against my guys, and he's got a single high safety. So the probability of this being some type of a cover one man is extremely high. So that's what I'm reading when I'm seeing this type of a defense. And if you guys are not familiar with it, you want to check out my ebooks. But I go ahead and just dot him up with a deep out. A deep out is always going to get leverage against this guy because he has to protect over the top. He will carry the routes, but he's off coverage, so I've got a leverage position against him. So really what I do is I try to read this defender to see if he slides out. If he slides out, it's a cover 3 shell, and I can hit this little hitch because this guy's going to have to slide over to go and take that away. That's going to be my first read. If he stays with this guy and he matches, I know I can hit this little box right here on the left side. And I explain this in my ebooks extensively. I explain this and I write this up to you as far as how I actually run this coverage. Once again, before the snap, I go ahead and see cover 1 hole. So I'm going to actually hit him with a route that against man coverage is always going to get wide open, and then I complement that route with a little crosser underneath. So in other words, if his user takes away my over the top route, I've got a route I'll be able to hit underneath and actually turn that up for some pretty easy yards. So it's just a simple mesh concept, and right here I'm able to go ahead and hit him with Samuels and pick up a big chunk of change right there because he didn't disguise his coverage. He's showing me the same thing. So you can see how these guys are lined up correctly, straight up on my defenders. He's been running cover 1 hole, so in other words, this is the defense. It's probably one of the worst defenses in the game, in my opinion. I'm sure people are very successful with it, but when I see this setup like this, that's what I'm seeing against that. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my man beater, set this up. Same play as the previous play, and I'm looking for the crossing route over the middle. I think he might have went ahead and changed up his leverage because you can see the coverage was a little bit tighter, but you could see right there I'm able to complete that. And I could have went to the backside with the tight end. So this guy keeps showing me cover 1 hole. Now he switches things up. And that's one of the reasons why you want to be prepared for anybody that is not using the same type of coverage. This guy floats up, this guy floats up, he floats up, he floats up, he floats up. So he actually jumps into cover 2, but I know because of the route combinations, I can actually hit underneath with this. So once I see it's not cover one hole, and I don't have a man read, I'm just going to go and throw over the middle. This guy's using his defensive tackle. That's his preference. I had a hard time running against this guy with the defensive tackle, but that pretty much opened things up for me. So I got this guy the slightly inside leverage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and jump into an RPO. He's got the box set up right there. So I get a double block right there, and I actually pick up a couple yards. And I'm fine picking up 4 or 5 yards. I force my opponent to make those type of adjustments. So what I do is I look at the leverage. Okay, so take a look. He's got his line kind of boxed up a little bit, and he's got this guy right over here. Now I've got a bunch of defenders that are essentially or blockers that are going to peel off. So I'm going to get a double team right here, and this guy's going to peel off. I got a double team right here, and this guy should peel off. And this guy's going to get inside leverage, and he should be able to seal off this guy. So I know I should be able to go ahead and quick snap this play and get a run right off to the right side. So just because of the leverage position with the offensive lineman, you could see he's using these guys, but I actually got a double team, and it actually throws him off a little bit. Get to the outside, and you can see the holes right there. I've got the leverage. And I probably could have, done something of a stick move and get to the outside to get a touchdown, but I decided to cut back in because I've got two blockers right there, and I get the ball down to 1st and goal. So now he actually goes into a goal line set on the 3-yard line, which, against a doubles, offense, that's probably not a good decision. And this guy's actually, I think, ranked like in the top 200. Then he switches up his defense. And look, this guy's wide open. There's nobody over here. So when you see stuff like this, it's either a major bait situation or this guy really gets himself out of position. So I just go ahead and snap the ball. And right here, I'm able to go ahead and hit a little out and get a touchdown against this guy. So luckily for me, I'm able to go to get a touchdown against him, and he doesn't have much to do. Now this guy, basically, his success was basically his offense. And I'm actually, so you can see right here, he had a run first offense. We're already late into the 3rd quarter. The score is tied because this guy went run first. He's back in this goal line situation, and when you've got these stretch plays, what happens is if he's playing man coverage, these defenders will follow the wide receiver responsibilities. So it's one of those little inside tricks that a lot of pro players know, that you really don't want to use man coverage too much. See how these guys are actually chasing? And it's basically giving me a free lane over here to the left to be able to run against my opponent. So because of the defense he was choosing, he actually gave me a freebie. Now here's a play that I actually been labbing up. This is basically a 2-point conversion play. And what this does is it actually has a hitch route, but instead of going to the inside, the hitch route flips around and goes to the outside. And what I've been discovering against man coverage, it always gets separation, and I can get an easy completion. Now what I do is I motion out my running back, and what this does is it slides over defenders, basically taking the better man defenders closer to the outside, giving me players, man defenders on the inside that are not going to be that good. So they're going to be defensive linemen or poor linebackers. Got to get rid of the ball quick because pressure will come in, and as a result, you can see I can get an easy 2-point conversion. So that's what's great about this particular offense. Once again, to get another turnover. Take a look at the leverage. This guy is on the outside. He's on the inside. This guy's on the outside. And I got 2 high safety shell. So because this guy was not disguising his coverages, what I'm seeing when I see this is I see cover 2 coverage. Now, because I've labbed specific plays in this Green Bay Packers playbook, I know a simple adjustment I can make to go ahead and attack my opponent in the middle of the field, and his mid-read is not going to pick up that guy, and it's essentially streaking up the tight end. I do complement just in case he does some type of a hybrid coverage with the running back to give myself a check down. But typically I can quick snap this if this guy's pure with a cover 2. And you can see his responsibility is to get into the seam, but because he was sitting there, he's out of position. I just threw the ball right over him, and I'm able to go to get a touchdown against him. And as a result, after this and getting another turnover on defense, this guy rage quits out. But because this guy played really generic defenses and I was able to read the coverages with this man coverage, I'm able to go ahead and basically destroy this guy. So next player I'm playing against, once again, another player that wins about 70% of his games. I'm able to go ahead and get right here. This is basically cover 2. So you got this guy shaded to the outside, this guy shaded to the outside. I got another guy shaded to the outside, and 2 high safeties that should back up. So I'm reading cover 2 when I see this type of a coverage. That's what I'm reading. And usually when it's the first play of the game, as you can see in this, I'm just going to hit this guy with a run just to see if that's the type of play that he runs. And you can see right here, against cover 2, halfback draws are really good because what happens is that all the people start falling back into coverage, and then I actually hand the ball off to the running back. So if you got a guy who runs a lot of cover 3 coverages, cover 2 coverages, cover 4 coverages, halfback draws are something you can definitely blend into your game. Right now, I'm seeing a single high safety right here, and I got a single high safety, and this guy is slightly to the outside. So when I see that, I'm thinking it's going to be cover 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a cover 3 beater. So I motion this guy over, and I streak up this wide receiver. So verticals is a very common concept, and what this does is it stresses out these deep zones, and this guy actually has to go out and play an outside zone, leaving a pocket for me to actually hit. And I have the little check and release check down is my second read right here where I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to quick snap this right away, and my first read is going to be that inside streak, and he's using that away. He's carrying with that particular ball. So I probably could have thrown it, but I just didn't like the leverage, and this defender's kind of rolling over. This guy's playing on the inside, so I'm just going to check it down underneath and try to pick up the first down that way, which I'm able to go ahead and do with a really good running back. So right here, you can see this guys are straight up, single high safety. So I'm thinking basically in this type of situation, this is going to be, you know, a cover 1 hole type man type coverage. So I'm basically going to go ahead and look, you know, basically right here is my 1. This is going to be my 2 when I'm actually looking at these progressions and reads. And you can see this guy matches up. I still can throw this ball, but I like to do the out route. It gets a little bit of further yardage, and it forces my opponent to actually consider pressing his guys or pushing his guys down. So right here he presses, but I want you to show you, I want you to look at something. You ever see these guys double stack like this? If you see 2 defenders double stack like this, it's a cover 3 cloud. So it is a cover 3 coverage. So you've got this guy that actually is going to go deep third. This guy should be a deep third. This guy should be deep third. And this guy is going to jump into a hard flat. So when I see that type of a coverage, I can hit him with some type of a cover 3 beater. So I think in this type of situation, I jump into basically the wide trips weak with the anticipation to go with the zone. Look what happens. This guy's got auto flip on. So basically, this guy's going to be deep third. This is going to be hard flat out here. This guy should go into deep third, and then there should be like a flat defender, curl flat defender that's going to be over the middle of the field. So what I'm doing is I'm checking this guy right here before I snap the ball, and I'm looking to basically hit this area right here. Now, I have a complemented route right here underneath. And then I've also got this underneath route right here over the top. So that kind of clears out the zones for me. But I'm really looking to the seam as my first read. And once I see this guy bailing and I see this guy sliding out as my next read, I know I've got a tight window I can throw right here, but this is a place that I can actually get the ball into the ends, or into the zone. Now this defender actually bites this, and I could have been, if this is a better defender out here playing in the middle area, he might have caught that, but you can see I actually got a completion with that ball. But I knew exactly where I wanted to go with it. It became a little bit tight of a passing lane, and I'm able to get this. Now he comes into basically a press situation. So he's actually in cover one hole press. But look at these guys. These guys are lined up exactly over me. So what that's telling me that this is a cover 1 hole press. This guy's going to fall back into safety. Probably this guy's going to be into a hole spot. But look, there's no one over the top. So if this guy beats this route over the top, that's going to be a touchdown. Now, I have played this scheme enough to realize that sometimes people will disguise it. And once I saw this guy backing off, I'm like, okay, what is going on with this guy? So I need to go ahead and complement this. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy, put him in a whip route, and I'm going to do a streak route. So I'll look to this as my first read, but if this guy bails, I'm going to look to this underneath route as my number 2. So just go ahead and take a look at the setup. And you can see this guy comes pressing down. He's going to get leverage. And I'm just going to go lob the ball up, and I just just catch it in the end zone and get an easy touchdown. So, just an easy completion, easy touchdown against this guy. He had a really hard time with it. So I get another turnover and downs. Now take a look at these guys. These guys are lined up really weird. See how the safety's kind of lined up over this guy? Anytime I see that, I'm thinking this is some type of a blitz, cover 0 type situation. So in that type of situation, I'm going to go ahead and use any kind of like combination or route play that is going to be good against cover one, like a cover zero blitz. So this is my quick snap play. I can go audible to tight end, and then essentially is once my guys get set, I'm going to go ahead and snap it. His responsibility is to fall back into this area to take away that little that crossing route. But basically, it's these guys are floating up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and check it down to the tight end. This is my next progression, and right here I'm able to go ahead and pick up a first down just with a nice little fall forward. But you know, I'm looking for that man beater against my opponent. So now he presses his guys down. This guy actually had a little bit different kind of a setup. Hit him with an inside zone play right here. Actually pick up about 5 yards. I'm kind of in his driver's seat right now. I want to chew the clock against this guy, try to take away some of his timeouts. These guys, once again, are kind of lined up over my guys. The safety's kind of offset. You know, that's showing me some type of a man blitz. But because I do want to try to chew the clock down a little bit, I might go with a run play, but I choose, I'm like, okay, this guy's just showing me. He came out of the previous play was a man all man blitz. So I'm just like, okay, this guy's basically giving me a touchdown. So pressure's coming in. I've got this area going to open up by this tight end, but really what I'm looking to is this over the middle play. And you can see what happens is this guy is chasing the tight end. I'm already got the ball out before I get hit by the by the defensive person and actually get the ball in the end zone. And my opponent actually goes ahead and you know, rage quits out against me. So he rage quits out after I go and score once again. You know, turnovers. He just realized that he wasn't going to be able to stop me. So guys, if you do like these type of breakdowns, if you want more help basically on you know, in the gameplay, I've got extensive breakdowns in my Patreon to show you how to read the defenses and then also how I attack the defenses with these breakdowns. So these are very extensive playbook breakdowns that I've built out in my scheme. I've got multiple different types of playbooks. The Jets, the Packers is my newest one I'm using right now, shredding top players with. So it can definitely help you. You can just go right to my Patreon to do that. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. Until next time.